Buckle up, baby.
Punch it, I'm Jacob, and welcome to Lightspeed. And apologies for my voice. I'm recovering from being sick the past few days, so hopefully I don't sound too congested. But if there's one thing that I've really wanted to talk about on this channel, it's Star Wars books and comics. Growing up, I read so many Star Wars books, and I'll never forget the time that my friend gave me his collection of Legends books that I spent an entire summer reading. So I thought, what better way to kick off this series and to talk about Star Wars books than to talk about one of my favorite Star Wars books, Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. There's two big things about this book, though. For one, it was the starting point for the High Republic multimedia project from Lucasfilm, exploring the years leading up to the events of the Phantom Menace and the prequels. The second thing, though, is that this is written by Charles Soule, who has proven himself time and time again to honestly be one of my favorite Star Wars authors. I love his work on the Rise of Kylo Ren comics, this novel, and I honestly can't wait for his new Kylo Ren series dropping next year. Now, reading through this book the other day was actually my second read-through of it, and that's because I know what has happened in the High Republic, because to be honest, I watch videos keeping me updated on the canon, but I wanted to experience these novels and these comics for myself because knowing and experiencing are two very different things. For those unfamiliar with the High Republic era, or at least for right now, I honestly can't imagine a better introduction. Although the book's been out for a few years now, I think that it originally came out in 2021, I do want to use these videos as a segment that encourages people to read these novels themselves, so I won't be giving out any spoilers. Don't worry, you're safe there. But the way that this novel starts with a countdown is nothing short of perfection, and the pacing throughout the book is also nothing short of fantastic. Going off of that, I also want to mention that although I know other people have said it before, the opening to this book is sincerely one of the best openings to anything Star Wars related ever, and yes, I'm including the movies there. It's really just a testament as to how strong of a writer Charles Soule really is. It paints a really unique perspective on the Jedi Order and the Republic that we hadn't really seen before, yet despite all of the good things happening and the galaxy being at a time of quote-unquote peace, it's really anything but that, especially whenever the chaotic marauders known as the Nile come into the picture. This book specifically, and the High Republic era in general, really paint the Jedi as heroes that are traveling across the galaxy and really being the keepers of the peace that they're meant to be. But despite that, they still make some mistakes throughout the book. But all of the new Jedi characters are phenomenal and so uniquely written. Not once does it feel like Avar Kriss is the same as Loden Greatstorm, or that Elzar Mann is the same character as Bel Zettifur. They're all very much their own characters, and there wasn't one Jedi that I disliked or found boring. Without going into spoilers, there's a particular passage about how each Jedi sees the Force in a different way. Loden sees it as the wind, Elzar sees it as gears turning, I believe, and Avar sees it, or I guess hears it, as a song. And that specific passage, really captivated me, but also really helped distinguish all of these new Jedi in a way that I didn't expect. But on the opposite side here, the Nile are again such great villains. I was a little bit worried that Marchion Ro was going to become this one-dimensional Marauder-esque villain, but honestly, the more you read, the more you realize he's seriously anything but that. I'm not saying that a character like Darth Vader isn't ruthless, but Marchion Ro is kind of next level. You'll become invested in some members of the Nile, and you'll think that they're going to be high-key commanders or high-key characters moving forward, only for Marchion Ro to off them unexpectedly just a few chapters later. It's insane. Whereas the Empire was a tyrannical uniform evil, the Nile are just chaotically popping up and pillaging, killing, and destroying anything they can, sometimes just for fun. They're kind of like space Vikings, and I think I said it earlier, but to say it again, this makes them such a great antagonist and foil for a republic that's thriving, unified, and peaceful. And the Nile stand out even more considering that they're so drastically different from any other villain that we've seen, like the Sith or the Empire. Light of the Jedi is really energetic and bright, but it's also extremely dark at points as well, which really made me only appreciate it even more. Many others have already read and subsequently hyped up this book, but Honestly, it's completely justified, and for a good reason. Charles Soule crafted a story that's immensely entertaining, thrilling, and outright fun, and reading it twice, I knew what was going to happen, and it still captivated me. If you're one of those people that feels like all hope is lost for Star Wars, and you personally aren't enjoying a lot of the recent projects, this is the kind of Star Wars story that you've been waiting for. Even if you aren't a massive reader, I seriously recommend checking this one out and experiencing it for yourself, even if you do know what's going to happen. This is probably the highest praise that I can give it. I think it'll probably help you fall in love with Star Wars once again if you found yourself less interested in recent projects. And as someone who loves the recent projects, I really love this too, and I seriously cannot recommend this book enough. But what did you think of Light of the Jedi? Did you love it? Were you not a fan? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you want to become a channel member, you can do that down below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until the next video, may the Force be with you.